How you doing, Carola?
Hello.
I had a chat with Quantum. I let him know that, because he does call me often, and I get that, right? But I let him know that it is important that he communicates with you specifically, Carola. As
Yeah, I had a good long chat with him, so he knows he's going to be going mostly through me from now on.
very
So he
good.
doesn't have to bug you. Or not
Yeah.
bug you, but, you know,
Yeah.
anything that's important, I can relate to.
Yep. I want to make sure that, like, you know, the staff and every responsibility they get, the staff is, you know, kind of similar to how we do with the, you know, with our, you know, county meetings and whatnot. It's important that if one of us is not around, that the machine continues to move forward, and we get used to working with each other. Because
Precisely.
Yeah.
so, well,
Now,
Uh,
I'm gonna say for the record on this book, I told Carola this is just a gag. We're still waiting for a piece of functionality, and once that comes in, we'll have a more serious, less dumb fuck version. You know, don't worry.
yeah, beautiful.
Okay, awesome. And I'm glad you added pictures to this because a lot of people will not read, but they will look at the picture.
Yeah, I've learned that. If I could make pop-up books, I would
All right.
cater to the audience. You know.
This is really good.
Let's get rid of how for dumb fucks. It's funny, I think internally, but if someone didn't get the joke, they may find offense to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, ditto. That's the plan.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
it's not.
no,
It's not,
we're,
it's not going to be.
No, we're waiting for
Tempting, but no.
the cart functionality, which apparently is soon TM. So once the intern has that done, I'm gonna write up a real version.
Open a web browser, navigate, sign in. Can you help her get her first account set up?
Yeah, I'll generate a code for her.
Ooh, brother, look at this.
That covers my best work.
I love it.
On the side panel.
I love your disclaimers, by the way.
It's the best part.
So I think the key thing here is I do think that right now the site is slightly cumbersome, right? Which is understandable because we are mostly targeting functionality first. And given the fact that it's functionality first, like it's going to mean a little bit more heavy lifting for our staff initially. However, what I am hoping for is that what do you call it? Over time, we'll work on the UX. Like, we'll make it more appealing, easy to use. But that is going to entirely depend on the feedback that you and the rest of the staff members sort of recommend. I would say that, you know, as you're noticing things, if the things that you think could be needed, ways that we could make it easier, please do give us that feedback and we'll like evaluate it and whatnot.
Yeah, I will sit there and mess around with it and do all that.
All right.
In a few hours.
All right. Beautiful.
Because my phone is just exploding with Quentin on one side, and we have a magnificent security guard, Gary Kibon. I don't know how you pronounce that last name. He's apparently DOC, and he's always been security.
Yes.
who's been pointing out different aspects of security that he feels needs to be changed. He did point out something really interesting, and that is that the only ATMs are at the rotunda. So
that
if
is
people
true.
want to use cash, there is nothing. That's the closest, place for those.
The way
People can
that
walk.
so I had a chat with Quantum now. So here's I think well, keep going.
He's also Mr. Gary has also sent me pictures like a floor,
Oh,
general stuff.
yes. Oh, that's who that was. I remember I received these photos. Yeah.
Wait, photos
His
of
name
what?
is Gary Kebun.
Yes.
Kebun? I don't know. Kebun. I don't know how you pronounce that last name. So
That's who those
Like a
photos
floor
were
plan or
from.
something?
I think Quantum mentioned it too.
Give me. There you go. Like there you see there's like issue with that. That's the floor basically. So yeah. He's sending me little things like that.
I love it. I love that.
So yeah.
You sent me the wrong picture.
One thing I will note is that I'll put it like this, that it is important that everything kind of ideally go through Quantum so that we can ensure that Quantum's main job, I think, is to make sure that our mall offices do not go unhinged. And I bring this up mostly, we don't need to bring this up with Gary, but when his name came up, a couple people were very hesitant on it. I've let them know that the court center, and just like anything else I do in life, everybody deserves a chance. I don't give a fuck what their past is. I don't care if even I had personal issues with them. We need to let time heal and allow to give people opportunities. And that's what the court center is. Give people opportunities that they may not have had before or second chances. Now, with that said, I did ask Quantum to make sure that Gary understands the general principles of mall security. Is that it is, because I know Carmine was kind of on it on a particular energy, for example, where he wanted guns and can we shoot? It was like very like that was his first concern. And I asked him, I'm like, do you think if the mall security's first thought is how do we shoot people down, is that likely going to lead to a welcoming environment, or is it just going to turn into senior buns? The place is going to get chewed up and spit right out. And I think he understood that. And Quantum's going to have a very similar conversation with Gary, right?
I had a conversation today with Quantum, and I basically let him know that he had to think of his less than lethal training. That's what he was going to be leaning on. Because we were not going to have any sort of firearms in here, nor tasers, as so far as I know. And I just went with the route of wanting to avoid them to get hurt for their equipment. And, he was completely on board. I think he really has, picked up what everyone has been putting down.
Yeah.
When it comes to security, Gary, I see that he is very, very serious about security, which is commendable.
Yeah.
And I can understand. But yeah, Quentin might have to talk him down a little bit, but we will see how that goes.
Okay. Beautiful.
And I just sent you a picture of one of Quentin's ideas for uniforms for the for the mall cops. It's a very basic black and white. Do you want any sort of particular color scheme, by the way, Nino?
Non-particular. I think whatever kind of like resonates best.
Should be recognizable.
Yeah, it's just I don't know this. Let me send it to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that's obvious that they're not a civilian. You know, a civilian would be caught fucking dead wearing that in public. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's incredibly basic. I kind of wish there was something more we could cook up with it. But I would have to look into that sort of clothing.
Yeah.
Think it's the outfit that's basic? Because Quantum's a pretty basic guy too.
Yeah, I think I think picking whatever is best. I think so. Kind of the mindset that I've got for a lot of these things is I think as we sort of prove out this location, both for civilians and bringing some life into it, I can see further investment getting put in, right? And so I think, you know, whatever, like, listen, I trust y'all's opinion, right? Like, they should look like mall cops, or it is kind of the way I sort of see it. Which actually brings me to the next point. We have to, like, after this New Year's, even considering some maybe legislation around mall policing, I was even contemplating giving mall security some level of autonomy and jurisdiction over it outside of, like, very violent acts. So that they can feel like they have some ownership and they're not being stepped on. That is going to be the most difficult challenge that I see in front of us is, number one, shitloading, right? Which I think is what the great thing with the mall officers being able to handle that is going to be good, right? Matching that energy while at the same time ensuring that civilians do not get burnt out and feel like it's a place where people come to pick up people to rob them, right?
Yeah, we have to find that excitement, shenanigans, and the feeling of safety.
Precisely.
Somehow. Because if it's too incredibly safe, it's going to get boring as hell too. But
yes,
yeah, just have to make sure that everyone, and I have let the few people who I have let know that that I want to bring onto this, I have let them know that we need, you know, to have some sort of a balancing act here.
Yes.
Do we want to
We got to keep it interesting, but we don't need it to turn into senior buns or burger shot.
Exactly. And in the same vein, right? It's important because, listen, we have a lot of alpha energy within our cabinet. I look around, whether it's you, Michael, whether it's you, Carola, whether it's Maeve, whether it's, you know, we have to almost temper our own selves executively. We might see people come and rob the place, right? And we, to a degree, almost nearly need to somewhat bite our tongue and assess. And otherwise, we open the door for this place to become farmed, right? Because people's egos tend to be rather fragile, right? Someone says the wrong thing, now it's like kill on sight at courts. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's things that we got to consider, right?
Yeah.
Do we want to, you brought up legislation, do we want to just write like private security legislation in general?
I think so, yeah. Very custom tailored to the mall security, so we can sort of evolve it over time through iteration.
Yeah, okay. I'll take a stab at it.
Yeah.
Question: do you think we'll get some pushback from LSPD or even BCSO?
BCSO is rather
because whenever the topic of the prison comes up, everyone sounds really butthurt in the LEO community.
Yeah.
Like, oh, now DOC needs our help again, so they're calling us. Nah, 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 nah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's
I think jurisdiction is going to be
any
tough.
sort of issues.
I don't think we'll be able to give them full jurisdiction, but private security legislation isn't really anything new, right? It exists kind of everywhere, and it can be used to give quite a bit of power without stepping on the toes of the PD. So I think we can come up with something that gives them a level of autonomy without rubbing the PD the wrong way.
Amazing. If anyone can do it, I'm sure you can.
Yeah, we'll come up with something. We'll come up with something. Like I'd love to see them be able to have some power to investigate the happenings on the court center, and then as things escalate, they hand it off to the PD, and I think that could work.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Okay.
That would be very, very good.
Yeah.
So, well, I think I'm just going to tell Quentin to go ahead with those uniforms. Because, I mean, it also makes it feel like, it's his uniform, I kind of want to.
The only thing, it should have a vest. I realized that this Christmas season, it seems like store security everywhere, they're all wearing bulletproof vests nowadays.
Okay. What colors do police officers? So I'll just tell him to pick a vest that is not the colors, either gray for ride-alongs, black LSPD. What color does BCSO use?
It's like dust beige, isn't it?
I think so.
It's like more like local cop. Yeah. I'd say, you know what's a good idea here? I think we should get Quantum or like whoever wants to work on these. I think they should send us photographs of some examples of
check examples of uniforms? Or
yeah, like uniform examples or something like that.
You sent one, but it's
Ladies,
like...
do you mind giving us some space? Awesome, thank you. You take care.
The one that Carola sent me, he could be a mall cop, but he could also be like a male stripper. So...
Okay, that had not occurred.
Yeah,
to
but
me.
now it's going to.
Actually, Nino, I sent it to you. Yeah, now I'm gonna need bleach for that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't mind this.
It's just it's kind of plain. So I think that
it's confusing that this is mall is my concern.
Mm-hmm. He sent me 2 pictures, one with a hat and one without the hat. I just sent you this one with the hat. Although I feel that adding a vest will do a lot more for the uniform.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask him to not use any colors that are already being used by LEOs, ride-alongs, or DOC.
Let me see.
There are a couple of color options, aren't there, for the vests?
I think so.
I've only used a gray one for ride-along.
There definitely is, because I did a mock-up of one for Big Nog News, and it was like bright blue. So there's quite a few options.
Yeah, I'd say have him send like a couple of these, and then we'll take a look. I'm not really too pressed one way or another, especially because like I think over time we can probably get some better ones. But yeah, it kind of looks like they're working out of the airport or something, if I'm gonna be honest. Actually, that's exactly what it looks like. So Let me see. I think right now the main things that I am concerned with is I want to I think we need to focus on making sure the transaction like website is looking good. And number two, starting to pick up the material we need to sell. And I think the reason I put it that way is a lot of like the vanity, while important, is if we can't function, we need to make sure the logistics are working. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, definitely that is the most important thing. But here's the issue and why I'm giving any sort of importance to Quinn.
Yeah.
Some of these people that have already been hired, we kind of need to keep their excitement going. We need to keep their interest, at least until things actually start happening. So having Quentin go spend, 10, 20 minutes picking out uniforms or whatever
Yeah.
keeps him feeling involved, that he's being listened to, etc. Because if not, he's just basically sitting on his hands waiting for courts to open. You know?
Yeah, that is true. I think keeping him busy is definitely a good idea. But I think that's kind of where the slow roll comes in, is getting the staff kind of used to the toolings, buying stuff. We can even get the mall cops to participate in some of that purchasing. I think like I don't know, it's gonna be a very, because we're kind of like how do I put this, we're kind of setting like a snowball effect into place, and that snowball is gonna have to be very meticulous because we don't know how the populace is gonna react to it. So all right.
And I mean, I'm so glad you brought Tali in. We talked for hours today. And the reason I'm commenting is because she had a magnificent idea.
Yeah.
That people are going to want to, help out with the materials and everything else. And then she and I, or whoever else happens to be working, can have a list of looking for partners. Which will in turn help people who are going to do sani, who are going to be chopping wood or doing whatever. So they'll meet other people,
Yeah.
So have people make connections also through the first part of the court center.
Yes,
I thought that was a
absolutely.
magnificent idea from Tal.
So one thing that I want to expand on, and these are some of the things that we've been talking about, is over time we're going to have iterations of the site. So I actually want like the vendors to feel like they are progressing through the website. And that that the as like these stalls sort of continue to progress, I want them to almost feel like they are advancing through the site. Now I'm gonna say something slightly cringy, but you ever play those like games like Marvel Rivals? Well, you know how like when you like rank up in there, you kind of have like a feeling of like adrenaline going through you? I think that sort of thing actually goes a long way.
Court Center Battle Pass.
Yep, exactly.
It's pretty cringy.
But I bet you it'll work.
Oh,
Yeah,
guaranteed it'll work.
But I mean, it may sound that way, but like these are the kind of things that get people like excited. You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
Because the thing is, at the end of the day, we are allowing for trade, right? But there needs to be that like when I say they need, like, I want So let me take sort of, and I'm gonna be very like colorful here, right? Back in the day, when people used to trade things, it wouldn't be just put it in the back of a vehicle. Here you go, throw it over this way. There was sometimes a little bit more to it, and whether it's like through the website or through it's the presentation of the way that we sort of, you know, work here at the place, and why, you know, Carola, you are fantastic, and Tali, etc., is because there's a feeling that there's more to it than you're just buying something. It is a mall, just like every mall across the United States. When you walk inside, there's a reason why there's a big tree, because it's inviting. It's not just because it's to depart you from your money, but it's to make you want to come back. And be it the site or be it the presentation here at the Quartz Center, that's kind of what I want to kind of overlay. And I think that's why when I talk about getting like some kind of like advancement system or whatever it may be, that's kind of why I want that feeling to emanate from it. Does that kind of make sense why I'm drawing it that way?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
The question is, like, what are you thinking about? Is like, I don't know. You sold, I don't know, 20 products today. Here's a gold star. I mean, is that what you're thinking about when it comes to, like, what is your general idea for?
We started to workshop this, but we never really massaged it all the way through. But
yeah,
at least the idea a couple days ago was that your stimulating of the economy, be it buying or selling, as it's tracked on the leaderboard, would lead to unlocks. You could unlock a tier 2 stall. You could unlock, you know, maybe a discount, and maybe
bigger
a
storage?
prize. Maybe bigger storage, right? Some way to give them some intrinsic value that doesn't come from, as Nino said, just selling out of the back of your truck. It gives them some progression, right? So they can work towards something. Now, we didn't really finalize the details on that. It was really just let's quickly blue sky as we're working on other shit, but stuff like that.
Okay, that's going to be amazing. You know what I would love Quartz Center to become? My dream. People wake up at their apartment or their house. They get in their car and they come over.
I like
to
the
Quartz
way that
Center
they're like
because they
thinking
know they're
about
gonna
this.
bump into people here. They're going to find their friends. They're going to make friends. That's what I would love this place to become. That is like my copium heavy dream.
Yeah.
For this place. Because there is no place in the city like. People have to wake up, check the lemon list, check Twatter, and start calling other people. And I mean, if you're established and you have a group of friends, hey, that's no big deal. You're new, or you don't know as many people, it's harder. And places like this could help, you know, people get to know other people, hang out, talk, start their own stories here.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of things that I kind of am hoping for over here, but a lot of it is going to very much depend on there's things that I want to do, but I don't want to like say too much out loud because I think it's going to set expectations. You know what I mean? And those are the most difficult things to manage. I mean, just take a look at like how many requests have come our way for a series of things. Yeah,
Not wrong.
All right. Well,
yeah,
look,
that's another thing that I've also, like, I've listened into the recommendations or the thoughts from the different people I've talked to, but I have let them know that we're gonna try. We want to do as much as possible without too much help from construction.
Yep.
Because everyone has some sort of idea or something construction related, but very few ideas of things that we can actually implement ourselves.
Ain't that fucking right?
Yeah. And yeah, we need to get, and I've let them know, we need to get creative. We are doing this ourselves as much as we can. So, see what you can cook up.
100%. And I think that's why we gotta, I think as these ideas come up, we need to sort between what ideas are workable and what isn't. And I think as long as we don't try to do too much at once, I think we're gonna make a pretty good a success. You know what I mean? Too much and it's gonna fall over.
Yeah.
But
there is one thing though that Quentin commented that I did find interesting and worthy of mentioning. And I guess I would have to talk with PD, or I don't know who I would have to talk. Radios, so they can communicate.
I
obviously he's on the copium that they'll be able to have like government style.
So some
radios.
of this stuff I know is coming, but I don't know like to what
think that's gonna be
degree.
feasible. I don't
Some
know.
of it might be. I think the thing we got to keep people kind of like on track with is try to utilize what we got, and then we'll can take in those kind of requests as we can see, because there's a lot of investment going into this place, and I know some of the mall workers are going to get some things they can do around here, but I just don't know the full extent of it. Yeah.
And what I also told Quentin is that, remember, most of the people who are going to be working with you are going to have very little or zero LEO experience.
Yeah.
Or DOC or anything like that. So, we can't just turn them into, baby cops. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah.
All right.
know. The issue is that civilian radios have the worst batteries in history, but we can see how we can work around that.
Yeah, I think working around it for now. I mean, we could help try to pay for the radios and stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of the other thing is, we need the timesheet as well to make sure all the staff are getting paid appropriately. I think I put that as a request into the thing, because the way I see it right now is I think what I want is when people are working here, the managers can clock them in. Look and see like who's clocked in, and they just got to like re-clock in every so often.
Sounds good.
All right.
Because the other thing is, one thing I definitely don't want is someone comes over, they clock in, and then they go off to do something else in another part of the city.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see.
All right.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Any idea what we're going to be paying, like Tally and these other people? Has anybody thought up of a number?
Wait, say again?
The people who I'm going to be hiring to be managers or...
I think we should pay them like You get what I'm
Wanna
saying?
add like no, I do.
I'm kind of think
like
here.
furniture items.
Not furniture. Like what goes beyond wood? There's like wood, fur, materials. What else is there?
It's fucking it, man.
Wait, is it really?
Everything else comes from U-Tool. Concrete, fabric, all that shit.
Yeah. Huh.
Like I could put all the different kind of things that materials get it turned into, like offcuts and shit like that. But like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we need to cook on that a little bit. I don't think like any wood, I'd limit it to 2 wood items. I think fur is good. I think materials of like 2 different types is good. Just so like the spread of what is we're looking for. Maybe car parts. I don't know.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Car parts is good.
Car parts isn't a bad idea. The idea being that like it should feel like everybody's like kind of contributing to it. And it doesn't need to fully make sense, right? There's gonna be a lot of things that we're gonna need to be buying regardless.
Yeah, you know what? When I approached it, it was like, what do we need for construction? I didn't think about what we'd need for like doors opening, day 1 inventory. So let me kind of expand it out.
Okay, beautiful.
Car parts is really good.
And honestly, like the goals, like I think as like sort of time goes on, I think the goals become like less of a concern to me as much as getting like people starting to sell things to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we should just stop buying up everything in some quantity, but keeping it small.
So I talked to the intern, and he said right now goals are linked to the actual inventory in the database.
Yeah.
But bounties are coming. So I view goals more like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 construction related.
Let's not worry too much about like the side ornaments, like bounties and stuff. But I want us to keep drawing back to, we want this soft launch to very much be starting to buy up stuff. And people getting used to how the system works.
Yeah.
And then based on how they react to it, based on what they like and not, we start investing more in that space, right? Because my fear is we might get caught up on too many of like the ornaments, right? And we think more highly of them than the rest of the city does. So
yeah, okay, I'll expand that out.
All right, beautiful. Okay, all right. Well, I am going to wrap it up here. It is, I've been up for a minute. I've been working on things for the past couple hours, and I've been up for like 11 hours. So I'm gonna start calling it a night. Guys, I'm going to start showing up a lot more, all right, soon. Once these holidays are open, we're full energy right back into it.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry if I sound a little drowsy. If just, it's a long day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate it.
All right, you take care.
To you.
You take care.
Have a good Brian night.
All right.
Oh, God. Anyway.
Yeah.
Before you go, I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
So, what, as a cabinet member, what sort of trouble can I or should I not get into?
I would say limit it to near nothing.
Okay,
and I bring it from the perspective of a long time ago, there was a lot of breathing room to do things meticulously. However, with how much of a radar we've had around this office for the past 4 months, it is almost not worth the trouble. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And unfortunately, a lot of these things, with how much it gets dragged out, it can put pretty much everything on a pause. So,
Exactly. And just to be clear, though, when I was talking about what I was mentioning has nothing to do with my work. It's
oh,
personal shenanigans, to say it that way. But I wanted to touch base on that because those can be put on hold indefinitely.
yeah.
So it's not a big deal.
Um, wait, say again. Wait, which ones in particular? Sorry.
No, that what I'm talking about isn't directly or indirectly or in any way related to my job. It would
Yeah.
be basically what I'm doing on my free time.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
want you to think that I was insinuating that I would do anything
oh
while
no, no, no,
working.
no. Of course, of
Okay,
course.
perfect.
I think I like to have us kind of clean. Like, there is going to be room for shenanigans, right? But the cleaner, the better for everyone's sake. Um, Unfortunately, the reality is like, like the way the lens has been put on everything, we could run a red light and we've got the entire force of the world. So whatever you are comfortable with.
Okay. No, um everything can be put on hold. That is not a problem.
Yeah,
Because I
100%.
do take very seriously when you said that as the cabinet we are a reflection of you. So I just wanted
Yeah,
to double check with you before I do anything incredibly stupid.
yeah, I appreciate that. And I think the reflection isn't so much to put pressure on you guys, but rather the reflection that law enforcement likes to press on to everybody. I mean, look at poor Michael. You know, that guy was gunned down by the police department, and they didn't give a fuck. They treated him just
What?
like any fucking piece of shit.
Well, I mean, before I got caught with the moonshine, I've had all sorts of officers that
Wait,
have given
what?
me attitude.
Mm,
Like, oh, yeah, sure, you don't know anything. Yeah,
yeah.
clean record. Do you really have a clean record? Let me check the MDT. I'm
Jesus.
like, nice. It's like, is there a point in being clean and being a civilian in this city when the cops automatically assume that you are a hardened criminal?
Mm.
I guess I'll just have to get my kicks from ride-alongs and
Well,
chases. I'll get my adrenaline rush from that.
a long time ago, I took a lot of interest in doing things a different way. But like I said, a lot of the police department is, you know, I don't know. There is the phrase that I used to hear is taking a civilian's criminal virginity. And I think that in and of itself kind of draws the mentality of why you end up as usually as a gangbanger or just a civilian. There really isn't much of an in between.
The only time you get a little bit of that in between is when you don't get caught.
That is true.
That is your in between time until you get caught. And usually, once that cherry is popped, that someone has been caught,
Yeah,
they don't go back. It's like, well,
not
I already
wrong.
got caught. I already went to jail, so fuck it. So, okay, no problemo. Everything will continue squeaky as always, squeaky clean.
Easy. I appreciate that, Carola.
Yeah.
Any energy
No
towards
problem.
this. I would say that when you see Maeve around, see where she would like to get involved as well. I do want to have a chat with her. I haven't been able to see her in the mornings, but I want to make sure that she does not feel left out.
She's been around today. I wrote her a message. I tried calling her, and her phone was busy for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Holy shit. Why is that?
And I have no idea. I was thinking maybe she was, like the usual person who she's on the phone with is her partner Forte. But Forte wasn't answering his phone at all, and it wasn't
Yeah.
busy, so I have no idea who she was talking,
Jesus.
because a couple of people were trying to get a hold of her today. Nobody could get a hold of her.
I hope she's all right. I know she's taking a little bit of time off. Maybe, or maybe she's got other things going on right now.
Could be. I mean, it's perfectly normal. It's good for her. I feel that it sometimes feels like maybe she takes too much of her work home with her. And that worries me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no. Absolutely.
And that is a magnificent route to burnout.
Yeah, no,
So, but well, speaking of taking things home, you go sleepies, go rest up,
all right.
so you can have another wild day tomorrow.
I appreciate that. All right,
Take
Carola.
care, Nino. Rest
Hope to
well.
see you soon. And if I don't see you, happy holidays. And happy
You
New
too.
Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.
I wonder how things are going out there.